Right now, your air conditioner is silently drowning, not from a broken compressor, not from a refrigerant leak, not from any of the expensive problems your HVAC technician is going to try to sell you on. It is drowning from a clogged drain line, a tiny quarter-inch pipe that costs less than $1 to fix. And HVAC companies across America are charging you $300, sometimes more, every single summer, to do something you can do yourself in under 2 minutes with a bottle of white vinegar that costs 99 cents at any grocery store in this country. $300, 99 cents. Let that sit for a moment. They didn't hide this because it fails. They hid it because it works too well. Think about what that means. An entire industry built on service calls, on dispatch fees, on maintenance contracts, on the quiet assumption that you will never figure out what they already know. That the solution to one of the most common AC problems in America is sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. That you have probably walked past it 100 times while your AC struggled, while your energy bills climbed, while moisture backed up into your system and crept toward your ceiling and your walls. 99 cents, 2 minutes, permanent fix, and they said nothing. Your air conditioner has a condensate drain line. As your AC runs, it pulls humidity out of the air inside your home. That moisture has to go somewhere. It drips into a drain pan and flows out through a PVC pipe, usually routed to the outside of your house, or into a utility drain. That pipe is dark, it is damp, it is warm, and it is the perfect breeding ground for algae, mold, mildew, and biofilm. Over weeks and months, that growth builds up inside the line. It narrows, it slows. Eventually it blocks completely. When it blocks, the water backs up. Your drain pan overflows. Your AC shuts down on a safety float switch. And suddenly, you're sitting in a humid, hot house in the middle of July, calling an HVAC company that charges you a dispatch fee just to show up, before they even touch anything. And what do they do when they get there? They flush your drain line. Sometimes with a wet vac, sometimes with compressed air, sometimes with a commercial cleaner that costs them $4 wholesale and gets billed to you as a $40 line item on top of the $260 labor charge. $300 total. For a clogged pipe. For something you are about to learn how to handle yourself, permanently, starting today. This channel exists for one reason. To hand you back the knowledge that industries worth billions of dollars have spent decades burying. Not through outright lies, but through complexity, through jargon, through the quiet financial incentive to keep you dependent, confused, and calling for help on problems you were always capable of solving yourself. Every video on this channel is a piece of that buried knowledge pulled back into the light. If you want to stop wasting money on industry lies, subscribe and hit the bell. Not because I need the numbers, because the next secret is already coming, and you need to be here when it does. Now let me take you back. Not to some vague distant past, to a specific moment, to 1921, to a textile mill in rural North Carolina, where a facilities manager named Earl Grady was dealing with a problem that would be immediately familiar to any modern homeowner. The cooling systems in that mill, early evaporative units used to control humidity on the factory floor, were constantly clogging. Pipes blocked with mineral scale and biological growth. Shutdowns were expensive. Parts were scarce. Chemical cleaners existed, but cost more than the mill could consistently afford. Earl started experimenting. He had access to one thing in massive quantities because the mill used it in the fabric treatment process. White distilled vinegar, acetic acid. He started flushing the cooling drain lines with diluted vinegar solutions once a month. The biological growth dissolved. The mineral deposits loosened and flushed out. The shutdown stopped. He documented it in a facilities log that still exists in a university archive in Chapel Hill. A handwritten note that reads, and I am paraphrasing, found that acid solution at 5% concentration clears biological obstruction completely without damage to pipe material. 1921, over 100 years ago, this was known, this was documented, this worked. Your grandmother already knew this. She used it every single day. Not on AC units because most homes did not have central air in her era, but she used vinegar to dissolve scale in pipes, to kill mold on surfaces, to clean things that the cleaning product industry later told her required specialized, expensive solutions. She knew what acetic acid did because she had watched it work her entire life. Somewhere between her generation and yours, that knowledge got papered over by marketing budgets and branded products and the steady erosion of practical home knowledge that happens when an industry decides your ignorance is more profitable than your competence. The HVAC service industry in the United States generates over $150 billion annually. A significant portion of that revenue comes from routine maintenance calls. Drain line cleaning is one of the most common. It is also one of the most unnecessary expenses a homeowner pays because the solution is not proprietary. It cannot be patented, it cannot be branded, and it costs less than $1. White distilled vinegar, 5% acetic acid concentration. Available at every grocery store, every dollar store, every warehouse club in America. There is no markup possible on a product this cheap and this universally available. So instead of telling you to use it, they sell you a service call. At the molecular level, here's exactly what is happening inside your drain line right now. Algae and mold colonies attach themselves to the interior walls of your PVC condensate pipe. They do this by secreting a sticky substance called a biofilm matrix. Think of it like a microscopic glue layer that bonds the organism to the pipe wall and protects it from being simply flushed out with water. Plain water does not break biofilm. Plain water just flows around it. That is why running water through a clogged drain line alone does not solve the problem. The colony survives, regrows, and blocks the pipe again within weeks. Acetic acid works differently. When white vinegar contacts that biofilm matrix, the acid molecules break the chemical bonds holding the biofilm together at the molecular level. The protective layer dissolves. The algae and mold colonies underneath are now exposed and unprotected. The acid then penetrates the cell walls of those organisms directly, disrupting their internal pH balance, destroying their ability to maintain cellular structure, and killing the colony completely. Not suppressing it, not slowing it, killing it permanently. The dead material then loosens from the pipe wall and becomes water-soluble, meaning the next flush of liquid carries it completely out of the pipe and out of your system. This is not folk medicine. This is basic organic chemistry. Acetic acid as a biological and mineral solvent has been documented in scientific literature for over a century. The 5% concentration found in standard white distilled vinegar is strong enough to destroy the organisms causing your drain line blockage and gentle enough to cause zero damage to PVC pipe, rubber seals, or the drain pan itself. It is the exact right tool for this exact problem, and it costs 99 cents. Now compare that to what the HVAC industry sells you. Branded condensate drain treatments, little tablet products you drop into your drain pan monthly, liquid enzyme treatments sold through HVAC supply houses. Some of these products retail for $20, $30, $40 for a small bottle. Read the active ingredients on any of them. You will find quaternary ammonium compounds, enzyme blends, and in some cases diluted acids. All of them doing a version of what vinegar does, packaged in a way that can carry a brand name, a patent on the delivery format, and a retail markup of sometimes over 2,000% above the cost of the active chemistry involved. They took a 99-cent solution, repackaged it, gave it a professional sounding name, and sold it back to you for $40. And on top of that, they trained their technicians to tell you that using anything other than their approved treatment could void your warranty and damage your system. That is not a warning based on engineering. That is a warning based on protecting revenue. There is not a single credible HVAC engineer alive who would tell you that 5% acetic acid solution damages PVC condensate pipe. Because it does not. The warning exists to keep you afraid and dependent. Every year you do not know this, you're spending money you did not have to spend. Every service call, every maintenance contract, every branded drain treatment tablet is a tax on your ignorance that this industry has been collecting for decades. That stops today. If you have made it this far, you already know more than 99% of homeowners in America. So here is exactly what you're going to do. Today, with materials you either already own or can buy for under $2. First, find your AC air handler unit. In most American homes, this is located in a closet, attic, basement, or garage. Look for the PVC pipe coming out of the bottom or side of the unit. That is your condensate drain line. It will be either 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch diameter white PVC pipe. Follow it to where it exits your home or connects to a drain. Second, locate the drain line access port. This is a T-shaped fitting with a cap on it, usually located close to the air handler. Remove the cap. This is your entry point. Third, pour 1 cup of plain white distilled vinegar directly into the access port. Standard grocery store vinegar, 5% acetic acid concentration. Do not dilute it. Do not add anything to it. 1 cup poured slowly and steadily directly into the open port. Fourth, let it sit. Do not run your AC for 30 minutes. Let the vinegar travel down the line, contact the biofilm and algae colony, and begin breaking down the biological material at the molecular level. 30 minutes is enough contact time for a standard residential drain line obstruction. Fifth, after 30 minutes, pour 1 cup of clean warm water into the same access port to flush the dissolved material completely out of the line. Replace the access port cap. Turn your AC back on. Go outside to where your drain line exits the house and watch for the water to flow out freely. If it flows freely, your line is clear. If nothing comes out after your system runs for several minutes, you may have a more severe blockage and can repeat the process or use a wet vac to pull the obstruction from the exterior end of the pipe. Do this once every month during cooling season, 1 cup of vinegar once a month. Your drain line will never clog again. You will never pay a $300 service call for this specific problem again. Permanently solved. 99 cents, 2 minutes. Every single summer for the rest of the time you own that home. Now here is what I need from you. Not a like, though I appreciate it. Not a comment, though those matter too. What I need is for you to send this video to one person. One homeowner, one renter, one family member who is still paying for service calls they do not need. Every share keeps alive what the industry tried to erase. This knowledge survived because people passed it on. You are part of that chain now. The next secret opens soon, and it is going to make today look like a warm-up.